Let's see how to use arrays in shell scripting, how to write code for them. So we will see the syntax for two different shells, for born shell as well as born again shell, that is bash. So we'll see how will we write code for arrays in both these shells. Actually, bash supports arrays, but born shell does not support them. And bash has a syntax which is similar to C++ for arrays. So if for arrays, I'm talking about arrays, not for everything else. So if you have learned C++ before, if you are from that background, you will find that arrays are easier in bash while not in born. So let's see how to use arrays in born and how to make it easier to use them in born shell. Okay, let's start. First of all, let's see the arrays of bash. They are similar to C++. Okay, to initialize the arrays, you have to write the name of your array here, you have to write the index and the value which you want to store in that array. This is the example, this is the name of the array that I have used. This is my array. 1 is the index and 3 is the value which I want to store in the 1 index, the first index. And the concept is same as you know it from C++ or any other programming language. This is an array, right? And in bash the arrays start from index 0, 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So if I have 5 elements here, the first element will be 0 and the last will be 4. But this is not the case in born shell. The arrays in born shell starts from 1, not 0. Another important point is you don't have to declare elements or variables in shell scripting. You just initialize them and use them. So declaration is not necessary, but bash provides you with declaration. So if you want to declare some variable, you can do that too in bash, not in born, in bash. So to do that, you have to write the keyword declare. This is not coming out good. Let me write it again for you. So you will write declare dash a and then you will write the name of your array. So for example, okay, I'm writing it here. For example, the name of your array is maybe ARR, right? So you will write declare space dash a space and the name of your variable, which is ARR, if you want to do that. But it's not necessary. This works. And if you want to do this, this is called as explicit declaration, right? This is explicit declaration and this is implicit. It's, if you just start using it, it's implicitly declared. Okay, so for compound initialization, that means if you want to initialize many values at one time in one line, for that you can write the name of array and then you can use these round brackets, and within these you will write the elements. So the example is here, right here. I have stored 5 elements, 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50 in the variable my array. So here you can see if I want to access the first element or the 0th index, I will write this, right? So 0 will point to 10, the first element or 0th index, and the last element will be at the index 4, right? So this is what I've just explained right here. Okay, let's move on. To extract your value from the array, you will write the name of array and then the index. And here, this is the same syntax you have used in any other programming language. Here, what will happen is this is your variable in which you want to put the value. So whatever is there on this index will be stored in this variable, right? And the example is right here. So if I want to get the value at the second index of this array and store it in X, then this is what I will write. And by this I mean that maybe if this is my array, right, and maybe I have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. These are the values that I have in this. So the second index will be, okay, this 0 is the 0th index, first, second, third and fourth. So the second index is actually this one, right? So it will display 3 will be stored in X, and if I have printed it, I have printed it here, right? I have echoed X, so 3 will be printed on screen. Okay, so if I want to print the first element, this is what I will do, right? This is this right here. I will write 0. Also, something very interesting, if I want to print the first element can also be accessed by using just the name of the array, right? You don't have to write the index here. So this is something actually convenient. So if you want to print the first element, you don't have to worry about writing the index. Just writing the name of the array will do. It will print the first element. So in this case, it will print this one, right? Okay. Now if you want to print the whole array, so for that, this is what you do. You write the name of the array, and in the place of index, you just write at. So if you write at and if you write static, they both will do the same thing. At or static, they both will work same. Okay, this is what my static looks like. So this is how I can print my whole array. Now if you want to print it through loops using the traditional for loop, and by traditional for loop I mean the traditional for loop of shell scripting, and that is this for in, do, and then this loop, this traditional loop. If I want to use this is how I will do it. I will write the name of my array here, I in this array. What this will do is this means the whole array, right? So it will access the whole array. So I am accessing the whole array. I'm saying for every element I in this whole array, run this loop once, right? So what does this mean? I'm going to repeat it. For every element I in this whole array, run this loop once. So this loop will run once for every element in this array. So for example, this array is this, right? It has 5 elements. This loop will run 5 times. So if an array has 10 elements, this loop will run 10 times. And every time it will run, that one element will be placed here. So for the first time, for the first iteration of this loop, I will have this value in it, the value of the first element. And here I have printed it. On the second iteration of this loop, I will have the second element, right? It will have 2. On the third iteration, it will have the third element, and so on. This is how this loop will run. There is another important point, another important difference, which is if you just write the name of the array, the first element is printed. In Born shell scripting, if you write the name of the array, the whole array is printed, but that's not the case in Bash. So understand what I'm trying to say. Here I have written at to write all the elements of the array, right? But in Born shell, I don't have to write this. I can just write the name of the array. So in Born shell, name of the array means the whole array, right? I think I should write it here. So this is what I mean. The name of the array means whole array in Born shell, while it means first element in Bash shell. I wrote A here. I don't know where it went. Anyway, so I think you've understood now. Let's move forward. So if I want to print my array through loop using indices, right? That means if I have some logic, and that logic requires me to have the values based on the index of the array, right? I have to compare them or maybe add them or do something, but I need the values based on the index, based on the indices. So for that I can use while loop, and this is how I will do it. First of all, what I'll do is I will write the name of, okay, this line specifies whole array, and if I put hash in front of my array and brackets and at, which is specifying my whole array, if I put hash in front of it, it will count the number of elements in it and return me that. So actually this whole line is actually returning the size of my array. So I took that first, and then I initialized I with 0 because I have to start my loop with 0 since the arrays start from the index 0, and this is my condition that as long as this index is less than the size of the array, as long as it is true, this loop will run. And here I have extracted the values of this array, the elements of this array, on the basis of index I. So I is actually my index, and I'm using it to extract the value of different elements, right? And this is here I is incrementing, and this is my end of loop. So this do was the start of loop, and this done is the end of my loop. Okay, Now, if there is another case where I want to print the array but I don't know the size of the array, right? You can say that the size of the array is defined at the user input. It depends on the user input. So the size will be entered by user, and I don't know the size of the array at the time I'm writing the script. So in that case, how will we do it? So in that case, here I have taken the size from user, right? And then I have initialized I with 0. I have the loop is the same, the rest is the same. This is my index. As long as this index is less than the size of the array which I have taken from user, this loop will run. Here I have taken user input, and you can see that I'm taking input from user and I'm storing that input at different index each time, right? And then here the loop is the I is incrementing, and at the end I have displayed my whole array. Okay, now let's see arrays in Bourne shell. So first of all, Bourne shell does not support arrays. We can use arrays, but in the form of space separated strings. So what do we mean by space separated string? By this we mean that we will be using a string which is separated by spaces, and those spaces are defining a new element. So what I mean by that is, maybe I have a string, let's say I have a, and the string is let's say I have 2, 5, 9, randomly I'm taking random elements, 6. So this is actually a string which has spaces in it, right? But we can use this string which has spaces in it as an array. So these spaces is actually the boundary, right? So these spaces will differentiate one element from the other element. So this 2 will be the first element of array, 5 will be the second element of array, and so on. And by this, what I mean is, you can think of it as an array like this with 4 elements, and spaces are differentiating those elements one from the other, right? So in Bourne shell we use arrays like this. Okay, let's see the syntax. Okay, so first of all, there are 2 ways to use an array. The first way is through positional parameters. So we'll see the first way first, and then we'll go towards the second way. So the first way is through positional parameters, and to set an array, to initialize an array, we can use the set keywords, right? To initialize the positional parameters or the array, we use the set keyword. So the syntax is, the example is this: you write set here, and then you write the name of all of your elements. So I have 7 elements here. I have written the keyword set, and I've just written these elements afterwards with spaces in between them, which is differentiating one element from the other. Now if I wanna extract any element, I will do that using the index number. And I just told you a little while ago that in Bourne shell the arrays always start with index 1, right? So $1 here, if I wanna extract the value, if I wanna extract this index, right? First of all, this index is 1, first thing. Second thing is, if I wanna extract it, so if you wanna access the positional parameters, you just write dollar followed by the index. So this is how I will do it. I will write $sign, and then I will write the index, just the index. This will print 10. So the output of this command will be 10. Echo $1 is printing 10. And if I want to display the whole array, I will write dollar and then static. This will display the whole array. This is what it's doing. The fourth thing is, if I want to display my array through a for loop, the traditional Bourne for loop, for that what I'll do is, this is the syntax, you've just seen it in the previous slides for bash shell scripting. So this is the loop, and the difference you can see here. If I write, I have to write my whole array here, right? And my whole array is represented by this $static I just told you. So I will write $static here, then I will write 1, which is my variable, and then do and done. This is the rest of the loop. So what will happen is, this loop will run as long as there are elements in this array. That means if this array has 7 elements, for example here you can see that this array has 7 elements, the positional parameters are 7. So this loop will run 7 times, and every time this loop runs, one element is placed in the variable I. So what I mean is, for the first iteration, when this loop will run for the first time, $I will have 10. When this loop will run for the second time, $I will have 20, and so on. Okay, let's move on. The second way is space separated strings, which I just told you about a little while ago. Okay, so to initialize an array using this second way, to initialize an array, we can just initialize it like any string variable. So I have written the name of my array, and I have initialized it just like I can initialize any array. So this is the syntax of just an array, but that array has to have spaces in between different elements to differentiate one element from the other. Now if I want to add a new element, for that what I can do is I'm doing concatenation. So I have written the name of my array, and then I have written it again here with the $sign, which means this my array will write all of these 4 elements here, right? This will be written here. And then I have concatenated 500 preceded by space. I have written space, and then followed by that I have written 500. So this is concatenation, and this way another element is added in my variable. Now if I want to display my whole array, what I will do is I will just write the name of my array. So you see, I just told you a while ago that in Bourne shell, just writing the name of the array displays the whole array. But now if I want to display it through the traditional for loop, it's exactly the same thing which we just saw. This is our for loop. What this loop means is, for every element I in this array, run this loop once, right? This is my array, this is the variable I, and the output of this script here is this. So, right? So you can see that the output of this is this. I have 5 elements in my array, and I have displayed them here. Okay, let's move on. If I want to extract value of any element in my array, okay, now this thing is a little bit complicated. The rest of the arrays are very easy in Bourne shell. Only this part, extracting value part, is difficult because we don't have indices here, right? We don't have any index, a proper index. We don't have them. So this is the only point in, I think this is the only point in Bourne shell arrays which is a little bit complicated if you don't know how to use it properly. Okay, let's see how do we do it. What we do is we use the cut operator, right, to extract or to fetch the index of any array. So this is my array. Remember, it has 5 elements. What I do is I will write the name of my array here. Obviously I will write $sign because this is a variable. So I will write the name of my array, then I will use this pipe operator and this cut command. This command has followed by this command I have to pass a delimiter. So this -d means I have to give it some delimiter, and delimiter is actually a character, and I have to give it that character on the basis of which I wanna cut my string. So this is my string. I wanna cut this string on the basis of some particular character, and I have to pass that character here. So now remember, we just saw this in this previous slide, that my string is actually has spaces in it, right? And those spaces are differentiating between different elements. So if I want to cut these into 4 pieces, so let's say it has 4 different elements, and I want to cut the string into 4 pieces, which character will I use to cut them, to separate them? Obviously this space, because the space is the one that is separating one element from the other, right? This is separating one element from the other. So obviously I will use this space. So what I want to do is actually I want to cut my string on the basis of spaces. So if I cut my string on the basis of spaces, I will get 4 different elements, right? So this is what we are doing in this command. What I'm doing is I'm passing it space. You can see this single quotation mark has to have some character in between them, and I have written space here. So in case my string was maybe, let's say my string was like this, to comma 4, comma 6, comma 10, maybe, right? So if this was my string, now the character which is separating one element from the other is comma, right? So this comma. So if this was the case, I would have passed comma here, right? But this is not the case. Right now the case is this. My string has spaces in it, so I have passed the delimiter space here. So I will pass the delimiter space. What this command will do, up till this point, this command will cut this string on the basis of spaces. So it will cut the string into 5 different parts, because remember my array has 5 elements, so it will cut it into 5 different parts. And then what I want is, I want it to fetch the third element for me, the third piece for me. It has cut my string into 5 pieces and I want the third piece. So this command -F3 will fetch the third piece for me, right? This means that if this is the array, this 100 is my first piece, 200 is the second, 300 is the third, and 400 is the fourth piece, because arrays start with the first index, with index 1 in Bourne shell. Bourne shell, the arrays start with index 1, not 0. So this means the third piece, or the third element, or the third index is actually 300, right? So this command here, this command will actually get the third piece, which is 300 in my case. And if I want to display that on screen, I can do that. So if I want to display it on screen, I have to first write this whole command in round brackets before preceded by $. So I have to write $, followed by round brackets, and this whole command inside these round brackets. This way I will get the value, and I can store that value here. I have stored it in a variable x, and then I have printed that variable x on the screen. So this is how you extract a value in Bourne shell for arrays. So this thing is a little bit complicated. The rest of the arrays are easy. Anyway, now if I want to display my array using indices, I can definitely do that using while loop, and the procedure, the proper way to do that is this. So here you can see the whole code. This is my array, right? It has 5 elements, and I have taken a variable. I think you can't see it. The variable name is I. So this is my whole array. The variable name is I, and remember, since the array start with index 1, so I have written I as 1. Size of my array is 5. I've written that. This is my condition. I have to run the loop as long as this I is less than the size, and I is 1. Okay, there is one more thing. Since the array is starting from index 1, so this 100 is 1, 200 is 2, 300 is 3, 4, and the last element is now 5. So the index of the last element is not 4 as it was in the case of Bash, or it is in the case of C++ or any other language. It's not 4, it's 5. Therefore, my loop cannot say that run this loop as long as I is less than size. That will be wrong, because size is 5. So something less than 5 means this loop will only run 4 times. If it's starting from 1, it will run 4 times. It's not starting from 0, right? So it will run till 4, till I is 4. But I don't want that. I want it to run till I is 5. So that for that I have to write less than and equals to. And to write less than and equals to in shell scripting, you know what the operator is. It is -LE. LE means, LE stands for less than and equals to. So this is one more difference here. Okay, you have seen this line before. This line right here is exactly like this line, but there is one difference. So now I have I is my index, right? In the first iteration I will be 1, in the second iteration I will be 2, and so on, and I have to print it using the indexes, the indices. So for that, $I is my index. I have written this whole line for fetching, and now I want to fetch it for index 1 at the first iteration, 2 for the second, and so on. So I have to fetch the ith number here. So for that I have written $I. Here I have hard coded. I have written 3 and 1, but here I have written the generic statement, which is $i, which is my index, and it will be different every time. In every iteration of the loop it will be different. And then I have just displayed it on screen. So I think you have understood it now. Let's see one more thing. This is the last thing in this video. So if you want to get values from user, get values and size from user, you don't know the size at the time you are writing the script, you want to get it from the user, and you want to get the values from user as well. How will you do it? So here I have taken the size from user, right, and then I have declared the array, some array. I've changed the name this time, and it's empty. My I is 1, and this is the same as in the previous slide. You've just seen it. I should be less than or equals to the size. And now here I'm taking input from user. So notice, when I'm taking input from user, I'm not directly saving it in some index, because I can't do that. So I'm saving whatever the user input in the variable value, and then I concat the variable value with my array, the array that I declared. So this is that concatenation which we saw in one of the previous slides. This is that. So I take values from the user and then I just concatenate it in my array, and rest is the same. And then at the end I have displayed my whole array, and you can see the output here. This is the output, right? These are the values entered by user, and then I have displayed them at the end here. By the way, I think I didn't discuss the output of the second last code, the code in the previous slide. Let's see that again. This code. So the output of this code is right here. So you can clearly see that this thing is working, and this is the output, right? Okay, I hope it was useful, and I hope that you now understand the difference between Bourne shell and Bash shell, and you clearly understand how to use arrays. What are the syntax differences? What is the syntax for arrays in both Bourne and Bash shell? And I hope it's clear now. If they're still not clear, you can ask me questions through email or through the comment section in this video. Have a good day.